Hey everybody, welcome to the Quest Diagnostics Scouting Report. Good health starts with knowing. Here with Steve Zakuani, I'm Nick Firchau, talking about the first matchup of the season between the Seattle Sounders and the Portland Timbers. It's finally here on Sunday, 12 p.m. Pacific on Fox, as well as on local radio, Cairo 97.3 FM and El Rey 1360 AM, with a noon kickoff down at Providence Park. Steve, the Sounders go into this game against the Portland Timbers finally riding a little bit of momentum. Wednesday night, they were able to get a 5-0 win over FC Dallas. 5 different guys were able to get on the scoreboard, and we saw a lot more offensive chemistry, let's say, than we've seen in the past, and guys were able to finally finish some goals. What did you see on Wednesday night?
I mean, Nick, it's the best way to prepare for such a big derby game is coming off a win like that. 5-0 against a powerhouse like Dallas. I think it's the way the Sounders did it. A few things that stood out for me from the game was we finally had a penalty call go the Sounders' way. That was a good thing to see. Clinton Dempsey steps up, smashes it home. Jordan Morris, again on the score sheet. It was good to see Clinton Dempsey be the one to assist Jordan Morris. Andreas Ivanchitz combined with Osvaldo Alonso. Another thing, this is other guys who haven't really contributed, also contributing. And then Joevin Jones's goal, it's not the prettiest of goals, but the deflection goes the Sounders' way. These are things that haven't been dropping for the Sounders. Normally it hits a defender, comes out, hits a defender and hits the post or goes wide. It finally ends up in the back of the net. 5-0. 5 different scorers. The ball was moving well. Everyone looked confident. The downside was Dempsey getting sent off, but the positives for me far outweigh any negatives. And the biggest positive was Jordan Morris, now 7 goals.
Now, you mentioned that red card for Clint Dempsey. This is really a rare occurrence for Dempsey. The first MLS red card in 138 regular season appearances for him, going all the way back to the old days with the New England Revolution. And he's going to have to sit out this big game on Sunday against the Portland Timbers. We'll see if Diego Valeri also sits this game out as well with an ankle injury. So not much use talking about him. Let's talk about a guy you know very well and who has been very influential for the Timbers over the last few years, and that's Darlington Nagbe. Let's take a look at some of the background here on what has been a pretty hectic year for Darlington Nagbe. Obviously featured with the U.S. national team earlier this summer, got his first career goal with the USMNT back in May, and then 2 appearances at the Copa America Centenario. A lot of fanfare for Darlington Nagbe this summer. And he was also voted to the MLS All-Star Game Fan 11, so he's going to appear in that All-Star Game later this month in San Jose. On the flip side, though, Steve, just 1 goal and 3 assists in 14 games. He also only has 4 shots and 1 shot on goal in the past 3 games for the Timbers. And the Timbers as a team, look, 1 goal in their past 4 games. The defense has been good, but they haven't quite gotten the contributions they've come to expect from Darlington Nagbe recently. What's going on?
You know, Nick, Darlington Nagbe is a guy who traditionally hasn't shown up on the stat sheet, but to anyone watching, you can always see that he's playing well. Recently, however, since the Copa America, he hasn't been playing anywhere near his best level. In his most recent game against the Impact, you see his touches here and his passes. Not much activity in and around the 18-yard box. Nothing really in the 18-yard box. Not goal threatening. Didn't have many shots. Didn't even look to have an assist. And so for the Sounders, that bodes well because he hasn't been at his best form. A part of that is Diego Valeri missing. So much more attention is on Darlington Nagbe from the opposing team. And a part of that also is just being mentally tired after the Copa, his first big tournament. He's come back, hasn't hit his usual heights. He has been good historically against the Sounders, but so far, since coming back from the US national team break, he hasn't been at his best, and he's a great player, but this year, I would say so far, has been a down year for Darlington Nagbe.
He has had some success against the Sounders in years past. We'll see what he can do on Sunday when the Seattle Sounders head down to Providence Park against the Portland Timbers. Again, kickoff noon Pacific. It's on Fox as well as on the radio locally, Cairo 97.3 FM and El Rey 1360 AM. For Steve Zakuani, I'm Nick Firchau. Thanks for watching the Scouting Report.